Before starting, we should know how to make the structure of our program. So, almost every C program is divided into 5 parts: preprocessor commands, functions, variables, statements and expressions, and comments. I'll explain as and when we'll use each one of them. And since this is our first program and the simplest one, we'll be using only 3 parts. Now, what is a data type? In layman language, a data type is nothing but the type of data that is going to be stored. And in bookish language, it is defined as the system of declaring variables or functions of different types. Whenever I define a variable or function, I write a data type before that variable or before that function. A data type in general does two things. First, it defines how my data is going to be interpreted. That is my data a character? Is my data an integer? Is my data a boolean, etc. Second, it defines how much space will my data take in the memory. As you know, any information is stored in computer as 0 or 1, and this 0 or 1 is known as a bit. If I collect 4 bits, it's known as a nibble, and if I collect 8 bits, it's known as a byte. For example, if I am defining my variable as an integer, then it will take only 2 bytes of data or 16 bits of data. Now, there are different types of data types, and these are broadly classified into 4 types: basic types, user defined types, the type void, and derived types. The first two will be defined in the next video. I'm defining the third one here only as we have used it in our program, and the fourth one is a little higher level, so I will define it in some other video when we'll start to understand our programs. The type void. As the name suggests, void means nothing. So the output of the main function will require 0 bits or 0 bytes in the memory. Note that I said output of the main function. This means that I will be writing code inside the main function, and as soon as I'll reach the last line of the main function, all the data, all the variables will get destroyed. And at the end, what I will receive is nothing, because I have written a data type void before the main function. Finally, we are going to write our first code. If you wish, you can code along with me. If you are using Turbo C++, there might be a problem of switching between the windows. For that, you can try the shortcut key Alt plus Enter. It will minimize the Turbo C++ window. Okay, so the first line of every code is going to be hash include stdio.h. stdio.h is in the angular brackets. Here hash include is the preprocessor directive, and stdio.h is a header file. Preprocessor directive is not important right now, so we will discuss it in some other video. And a header file ends with the extension .h, and it contains some functions and some macros that we'll use in some programs. Next line will be again a hash include and conio.h header file. You can check these the functions and the macros that are contained in these header files in help index. You can type stdio and click enter. These are all the functions that you can use after adding the stdio.h header file, and these are the constants or the macros. These two lines are known as preprocessor commands. You can change their order if you like, or in future if you make more programs, you may add more header files if the program demands. Now the third line will be a function. A function has two parts, a data type and the name of the function. Here the data type is void and the name of the function is main. Now there's a thing to be noted that after every function we use these round brackets. These round brackets are known as parentheses. These parentheses may be empty or it may contain something inside them, but for main it's empty. And after these parentheses we have curly brackets. Inside these curly brackets will come whole of my code. Now, since this is our first program and this is known as a hello world program, what I want is to print a message known as hello world to the output screen. To do that, I'll instruct main function to print that. For, for instructing the main program to print a message to the output screen, we write a function known as printf. What this printf does is, first of all, it's a function, and this function is a predefined function present both inside this header file and this header file. So what printf does is it takes a word or a sentence and prints it to the output screen. Now this word or the sentence is known as a string, and for writing a string we always write it inside these double quotes. Now I'll write hello world inside it and then some exclamation marks. This is what will be present at the output screen when I'll run this program. Now after writing a sentence in English language, we use a full stop. In the same way, we use a semicolon here. Semicolon is very similar to a full stop in English language and it marks the end of a statement. Now our program is ready and we just have to run it. After making a program, first we save it, second we build it, and third we run it. Saving a program is easy, just go to file, click on save, give it a name and click on OK. Building a file consists of several stages: preprocessing, compilation, assembly and linking. Preprocessing takes the .c file as its input. It substitutes all the macros. Macros are the constants that I have defined at the top of my program. For example, pi. Pi is a constant that has a value of 3.14 something something. So I have defined pi at the top of my program as 3.14. Wherever I have used this pi inside the main code, that pi is substituted by 3.14. Then comments are stripped off. Comments are the common English language or whatever language you follow, the lines in that language. These lines are written just to understand my program if I'm reading it a couple of months later, or if I'm handing my program to some other programmer. He or she should be able to read it. That's why I included some lines known as comments inside my program. These comments are removed. Then expansion of included files. Included files are those two files that I wrote at the beginning of the program. These are stdio.h and conio.h. These two files are converted to stdio.i and conio.i, and the abc.c program is converted to abc.i. Then is compilation. Compilation changes the high level language to the assembly language, and those three .i files are converted to their corresponding .s files. Then assembly converts the assembly language to the binary language, and the three .s files are converted to their corresponding .o files. Now in the stage of linking, these three .o files are taken and they are linked together to form a single .exe file. This exe file is capable of running. I always run this .exe file. Now we'll do those three steps: saving, building and running. Before saving, notice this star here. This star shows that my program is not saved. For saving it, you have two options: just go to file and click on save, or press F2. Give it a name, hello.c. It should end with extension .c, and click on OK. You can see that the star is gone now, and the name has changed to hello.c. Now building it. In Turbo C++, it's compile. Go to compile and click on compile, or you can press Alt plus F9. It is showing me success, which means that my program is correct. There are no errors in my program, and press any key. So press any key, it will go, and then click on run, then run, or control plus F9. Yes, my program ran successfully. To see the output screen, go to window and click on user screen. You can see hello world is written here, which I wanted to be here, and then click any key and it will come back. This is our program finally done. Now we'll do it in code blocks. This is code blocks. There's an advantage here that it will write the hello world program on its own. Create a new project, click on console application, next, C, next, then hello.c, finish, go to sources, main.c. You can see it has already written the hello world program on its own. You can change it to void if you wish, and remove this. We'll talk about these later. And remove this. There is no conio.h here. Now this is the build, and this is run, and this is build and run. So we don't have to build and run it twice. Just click on this and it will save, build and run on its own. Okay, this is the output, and you can see hello world here.